Hey everybody, welcome. Marc Adams School of Woodworking. This is our 25th year, and one of the fun things we're doing this year is we're taking some time to interview some of our instructors so that you get to know a little bit more about the world-class people who teach here. And this week we have Mike Pekovich here from Fine Woodworking. And Mike, I got a couple questions for you.
Good deal.
You are the senior design editor at Fine Woodworking magazine, is that correct?
Yes, it's temporarily known as the creative director of Fine Woodworking. It's a fancy way
That brings more pay, right?
It brings a longer title.
There you go. How many years have you been there?
22 years.
22 years.
Yep.
And what did you do before you went to work there?
I studied furniture making in college.
Oh, really? Where at?
At Cal State Long Beach in Southern California. Great woodworking program. Really sort of fell in love with the craft at that point, though I had always been sort of predisposed to goofing around in the garage making stuff. I was supposed to be in art school. Stumbling around there, found myself in a wood shop within the art department, talking about bandsaws. I said, this is how I'm going to get my college degree. So I got interested in that. And out of school, I sort of got interested in music. I was in a band for a few years, goofing around.
In Southern LA?
Yes, along the West Coast, we would kind of tour from Los Angeles to San Francisco, up to Seattle and back down.
What instrument did you play?
I played nothing well. I played guitar poorly, sang painfully, but I really enjoyed writing songs.
Actually, you know what? I saw a photo of you from that time period at one point in time.
Yes.
We might have to twist your arm and see if we can get that to show it
Sure.
to people. But so you were in a band. Were you in a band? Was that like a full-time gig after college?
I mean, it's a full-time pursuit. I had a day
Wow.
job as a draftsman throughout college and throughout my band years. And at some point when I decided I want to start a family, I decided to go back to school for graphic design, for computer graphics. And that actually landed me a job at a skate shoe manufacturing company as an art director. And what got me that job were the T-shirts and posters I had made for the band. Got me the job at Vans skateboard shoes. And then about 2 years later, I was looking at an ad in Fine Woodworking magazine, looking for an associate art director, and asked my wife if she wanted to move to Connecticut.
One coast to the other?
She said, sure, why not? And actually she said, sure, why? And she fortunately agreed to make that trek with me across the country. And I've been at Fine Woodworking since then.
And how many years has that been?
Over 20 years, about 22 years.
And so at that point in time, that's when you really started making furniture again, not only for the magazine, but for yourself. And
yes.
Did you sell any of your work in those early days?
Yeah, I'd gotten back into furniture making sort of when I bought a house after leaving the band. You know, once I got my shop set back up and out of storage, I'd been making furniture for a couple years. And then coming to Fine Woodworking, that's when I obviously really became serious about the craft again. And I started doing commission work and had been doing that fairly consistently for probably a good, since about 2008, you know, when the recession hit, and for a lot of us, the commission started to dry up. But interestingly enough, it seemed like the people who were interested in commissioning a piece of furniture prior to then were more interested in learning how to make it themselves. And I've sort of kind of unintentionally segued more into teaching than commission work.
Wow. Well, let me ask you this, and if you go into, as you transitioned into teaching, and in your job, you obviously get to see some of the best furniture makers over the last 20 some odd years. It's incredible who you've met.
Yeah, very humbling.
Who inspires you?
You do, first of all.
Okay, you can come back. I can promise you.
My gosh, everybody. You know, if anything, the danger is just being so intimidated or humbled by the work that you see people doing. It took a while for me to kind of have the confidence just to make my own work. I am really attracted to, first of all, I would say James Krenov, even before coming to Fine Woodworking, was my big inspiration in college because he really spoke to the philosophy.
Probably through
of
his
making.
books?
Yes, through his books. And that was my first big inspiration. But coming to the magazine and getting to meet a lot of our authors, the people who are really good engineers, good problem solvers, Steve Latta, Michael Fortune, Will Neptune, people who could really think their way through, and then really good designers are tremendously inspiring. And every day I'm inspired and encouraged and intimidated continually by people who write for the magazine.
The work that you do is absolutely stunning.
Thank you.
And the way you've exposed your joinery, the beauty of the wood, the harmony of how pieces fit together. I consider you to be one of the best furniture makers in North America right now. Your work is astounding. And I know, not because you work at Fine Woodworking, but your work has been on the cover several times, but because it deserves to be there, because it's so incredibly elegant.
Thanks very much.
And it's just beautiful, and we're thrilled to have you be a big part of our program here. I think we're not quite to 10 years yet, but we're going to head there. And we're fortunate enough to have you back again next year, which we're very much looking forward to.
Most definitely. Yeah.
But let me ask you this. If people want to find out more information about you, how can they do that?
I have a website that I neglect fairly severely at pekovichwoodworks.com. I do spend a lot of time posting to Instagram, which is at Pekovich Woodworks. I've got about 162,000 followers at this point. For no other, I don't know why, but I like to keep up with what I'm doing in the shop. I tend to post the things that I'm making and the sawdust and shavings that I make along with it.
Well, I can tell you, if you get an opportunity to see his work, or you've probably seen it before, but you didn't know it was his, I truly do consider him to be one of America's premier furniture makers. He does astounding work, and it's an honor and privilege to have you be a part of our program.
Thanks very much. It's wonderful to be here.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Appreciate it.